Hello everyone and welcome back to Sublime Science HQ, here with me, Atomic Alex, for the second in our 8-week series of home experiments. So experiments that you can do really easily at home with stuff that you've just got lying around. And we're really encouraging you guys to get involved with this. You can post us your own experiments, show us how wacky and creative you got. The best experiment that we see across these 8 weeks, we're actually going to be awarding with a free science party. So that'll include slime making, sweet making, smoke rings, smoke bubbles, those are other really fun things for yourself and your friends. The 10 runners up, they get a free science lab home kit. So that'll include our science books, a lab coat, and loads of other gizmos for you to do even more home experiments. So if you do post your experiment, just be sure to include the hashtag THF Online 2020. So that's THF Online 2020 because it's all in association with the Tim Henman Foundation Online. They do some great work, really proud to be working with those guys, and you can find a link to the Tim Henman Foundation Online website at the bottom of this post so you can find a bit more about what they do. So today we're going to launch right into what we're doing today. It's quite nice weather, it's pretty sunny, so you may be out today enjoying a barbecue. What better thing to add into the mix than your own Waterbomb Catapult? Okay, so it's a heavy dose of physics today. It's all about forces. So, things you need about 4 elastic bands. You've got a whole bunch in there. You need about 4. About 4 clothes pegs, okay? A spoon, so ideally a metal spoon. A nice sturdy one is best. So, just the various projectiles. So, of course, your water balloon itself and a book. So, a nice sturdy book is best to actually hold your catapult down, hold it in place, and counterbalance it. So ideally you want to pick one that isn't too precious, that if it gets wet it doesn't matter too much. So 1 or 2 sturdy books is great. Once you gather those bits, the first step is to make the arm of your catapult, the catapult arm. So for this bit you just need one of your clothes pegs, and you can go for these plastic ones that are slightly bigger. One of the things you can investigate is how the size of the peg actually affects the distance that the projectile travels. By the way, when you do actually set up your contraption, your catapult, make sure you're aiming it in a nice safe space, not aiming at any humans or animals, not anything that breathes, okay? Definitely don't want to be hurting anything. You have plenty of fun without aiming at anything living. So anyway, back to your catapult arm. You're just going to grab your clothes peg, and in order to attach the spoons of the clothes peg, you're just going to wrap one of your elastic bands around each end of the clothes peg, just attaching a spoon like this. Okay, so you just wrap it around as many times as you can, so you're really getting full benefit out of that elastic band and attaching it nice and securely. So that's one end done there, and like I say, you just do the other end as well with your second elastic band. You can add a few more elastic bands to make it nice and secure, but 2 is absolutely fine. Okay, as long as that spoon is nice and secured, no worries. Okay, so that is your catapult arm done. Easy as that. First step. Next up, you just need to attach the catapult arm to your book. Okay, so here's one I made earlier. So you can see that I've already attached the catapult arm there with a couple of elastic bands. Again, just one at each end. I'm just going to demonstrate with another elastic band so you can see that. So let's go for that one there. So just kind of shuffle the elastic bands right down this end of the book, and you want to get the elastic band underneath that that bottom half even of the clothes peg. So that's going to slip underneath like so, and you then want to do the same at the other end. So you need at least 2 elastic bands, one at each end to hold it down. Obviously I've got a lot more than that now, but 2 may be fine. If you want to add more, again, to make sure it's really secure, then you can. And what I've actually done there, as you can see, I've got a couple of extra bits of equipment that have slipped into the mix here. I've actually got a bit of paper that's just taped around the book. That's just to protect this book. I'm actually borrowing this from a friend, so I'm a little bit more careful about actually getting it wet, okay? A little bit less willing to sacrifice the book. So that's something that you can do if you do need to protect it. The other benefit of that is that you can then tape the peg down with sellotape as an extra means to secure it without any fear of it making the book all tacky. Okay, so that's one extra step you could easily take. Hopefully hopefully most of you have got paper and tape lying around. So once you've done that, that's your catapult pretty much produced. The only other thing I've got here that you might want to include, just one of my own little adaptations, and you guys again can think of your own things and share how creative you got. One of the things that I've added into the mix is a coffee spoon. That's purely to make it a bit easier to actually launch the catapult, which of course is the next stage. Once you get to this point, you want to grab your little mini water balloon or whatever projectile it is that you're using. Again, you can experiment with loads of different types of projectiles, see what works best, how the distance travelled changes from between those different projectiles. So if I were to load this up, coming back to this coffee spoon I've added in the mix, that's just so that I can easily pull that down in order to prepare the catapult for launch. Okay, it just makes it a bit easier to do that so that I'm not pushing down on the spoon itself where the projectile is actually sitting, so in this case the water bomb. But that is, as I say, next step. We're going to take this outside in just a minute to give us a test. Just talk very quickly about the science behind this. As I say, this is all about forces. So the energy in the first place, that's coming from me. As I push down, that's adding some energy into the system. I'm pushing down with movement energy. Now in science we call movement energy kinetic energy. And one of the rules in physics is that energy is never created nor destroyed. It's just converted from one type of energy to another. So once I push that spoon right down as far as it can go, what I'm really pushing down on is the spring within the clothes peg. So you can see you've got your spring within your clothes peg. Once I push down as far as that can go and I can't push down any further, that energy, there's no movement anymore, so that movement energy has been converted into stored energy within the spring as it's squished up into like really squashed position, and we call stored energy potential energy. That's just a special name for it. And the only reason we call it potential energy is that that energy has the potential to be released back into the environment. Okay, and when we do that, once I release the spring, I'm going to get rid of the water balloon for a minute. Once I release it, that stored energy, that potential energy, is released and converted back into kinetic energy. So remember, kinetic energy is movement energy, and that movement energy is what's causing that movement, is underpinning that movement of our catapult. So energy comes from me, then it goes to potential energy stored in the spring, and then back to kinetic energy to launch our water bomb. So we're going to give this a go now. Be back with me in a couple of seconds. Let's see what happens. Let's see how far it goes.